Okay, let's cut the nonsense. You've been told your whole life that governments run the world. Well, spoiler alert, they don't. The real rulers? You're gonna want to sit down for this one. First off, let's just clear the air. World leaders, presidents, prime ministers, they're all just figureheads. Think about it. You really think one guy or gal can control an entire country? No way. They're just the face of the operation, the ones we see on TV. But the people pulling the strings? They stay in the shadows. So, who are these shadowy figures? I'm talking about the elite, and no, not the rich folks you hear about in the news. I'm talking about people so powerful, you don't even know their names. They're not on Forbes lists, they don't do interviews, and they definitely don't run for office. Why? Because they don't need to. These are the folks who control the banks, the media, the corporations, and yes, even your beloved social media platforms. They decide what you see, what you buy, what you think. The world? It's their chessboard, and we're all just pawns. Want to know how deep this goes? Let's talk about the central banks. These are the institutions that control the world's money supply, and guess what? They're private. Yep, the people printing your money aren't even part of the government. The Federal Reserve? Not federal. The Bank of England? Not owned by England. These banks control entire economies, and with that power, they can make or break countries. But it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about corporations. You think Apple, Google, Amazon are just companies? Nah, they're more like kingdoms. They've got more power than most countries, and they're in bed with the same elites controlling the banks. You ever notice how it's always the same companies at the top, no matter how the economy is doing? Yeah, that's not a coincidence. And don't even get me started on the media. You know how people say, don't believe everything you see on TV? Well, that's because the media is basically a tool used by the elite to keep you distracted and controlled. Ever wonder why every news channel seems to cover the same stories at the same time? It's all coordinated. They want you focusing on the headlines while the real stuff happens behind the scenes. And now we come to social media. You thought Facebook and Twitter were just fun ways to stay in touch with friends? Think again. These platforms are the ultimate surveillance tools, feeding data right back to, you guessed it, the elites. Your likes, your shares, your posts, they're all being tracked and analyzed to build a profile of who you are and what you'll believe. And that profile? It's worth billions to the people who actually run the show. But wait, there's more. You know those think tanks and global organizations like the World Economic Forum? Yeah, they're not just there to talk about policy. These groups are the breeding ground for the ideas that shape our world. And guess who funds them? The same people who control the banks, the media, and the corporations. It's one big interconnected web, and the deeper you go, the more it makes sense. So, what's the endgame? Why are these elites working so hard to control every aspect of our lives? It's simple: power and influence. The more control they have, the easier it is for them to push their agenda. And let's be real, they're not interested in making your life better. They're interested in making sure they stay on top, no matter what. Here's the thing, they're so good at staying hidden that most people don't even realize what's going on. They've built a system where we're all too distracted by everyday life to notice the bigger picture. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. The world is run by a small group of people, and the rest of us? We're just along for the ride. So next time you hear someone say, the president is ruining the country, or the government's in control, just remember, they're not the ones calling the shots. The real power lies with the people you never hear about, the ones behind the curtain. And trust me, they like it that way. If you're ready to learn more about the hidden forces pulling the strings, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and stick around. There's a lot more to uncover, and I've got plenty more secrets to spill. See you in the next episode, if they don't get to me first.